stop everything. This could be what's been wrecking your life, and it started before you were even born. Type, "I break the chains" in the comments right now, because only those who do will start to feel the release. Have you ever felt like your life is on repeat? Same mistakes, same relationships ending the same way. Money that comes in and slips away like water through your hands. And what if I told you the root of it might be in your belly button? Yes, your navel. That mysterious point where the very first energy and information of your life entered, and maybe it's still pulling in the unresolved pain of your mother, your grandmother, generations who never even met you, as if your soul was tied up before you even took your first breath. But now, something is about to be cut loose. A simple, ancient ritual will show you how to break this invisible chain and finally be free. But there's a catch. It only works if you do it today, and only if you truly understand what I'm about to show you in the next few seconds. So hold tight, because what you're about to see could change your family's story forever. Picture trying to run with invisible chains tied around your ankles. With every step toward the future, something drags you back, something old, something that isn't yours, but lives inside you. You push, you fight, you hustle, but it always feels like you end up in the same place. Now, imagine those chains aren't just a metaphor. They're real, anchored in your body, in your blood, even in the very air inside your home. These chains are formed from unresolved family memories, pain never spoken, secrets never revealed, betrayals swallowed in silence, grief that was never cried out. And maybe you've felt it, a sadness that comes out of nowhere, an anxiety with no name, an emptiness you can't explain, like you're carrying a whole story that you never lived but feel every single day. According to Tibetan Buddhist monks, the body is the altar of spiritual inheritance. They believed that every repressed wound of an ancestor stays alive in the descendant until someone dares to face it and break the cycle. And they even knew exactly where this inheritance anchors itself first. In the center of your belly, in your navel? And before you think this is just ancient spirituality, listen closely. Modern science has already proven that trauma can be passed down through generations via epigenetics. That means, yes, your grandmother's grief could be affecting your health right now. The abandonment your great-grandfather felt could be sabotaging your relationships. And even the bankruptcy of an uncle you never met could be fueling the fear that keeps you from thriving. What these monks understood millennia ago, neuroscience is only beginning to catch up to. The body stores memories, and the navel is the 0 point of your emotional story. It's where it all began, and it's where you can begin again. And there's more. The Buddhists used simple, natural, quiet rituals to cleanse the body. No gimmicks, no empty promises, just small acts with deep impact. And that's exactly the ritual you'll learn today. But first, tell me in the comments, have you ever felt like there's an untold story in your family? A pattern that just keeps repeating? Share it, because sometimes naming the pain is already the first step to breaking free. And if this video is speaking straight to something inside you, hit that like right now. not for vanity. This message needs to reach more people who are struggling with pain they don't even know the source of. In the next part, I'm going to show you the most overlooked secret of your body and why it carries the key to breaking silent curses. Your belly button isn't just a birth scar. It's the first door, the first thread, the first channel of everything you've ever received and everything you're still carrying. Before you even took your first breath, you were already connected to another human being. Through the umbilical cord, your mother was feeding you food, oxygen, emotions, fears, traumas, all of it flowing in through that single point. You weren't just nourished, you were programmed. Everything she felt, you felt too. Her fear? It showed up as tension in your tiny body. Her insecurity? It wired your nervous system. Her guilt? It planted seeds deep in your subconscious. And here's the shocking part. That cord wasn't truly cut. The physical one, yes. But the energetic one? That may still be alive. Today, as an adult, you might still be living with that channel wide open, open to her pain, to your family's repeating patterns, to guilt that was never yours. And it shows up in subtle but devastating ways. You sabotage yourself just when things start going well. You attract the same kind of person who's hurt you before. You feel an exhaustion you can't explain, even when life looks fine on the outside. And the strangest part? Deep down, you know something inside you is begging to break free, but you don't know where to start. Now listen closely. Tibetan Buddhist monks believe the navel is an energetic center, a dormant Dharma chakra, storing everything that was never emotionally digested. And when you don't purify this point, you keep being driven by unresolved stories of those who came before you. But when you awaken this center with awareness, when you seal this point with the right elements, you reprogram your entire body. This isn't cheap mysticism. It's alignment between your physical body, your emotions, and your ancestry. Epigenetics has already shown us. Family trauma shapes our DNA in real time. But it's also revealed something even more powerful. Those traumas can be switched off. That's why the ancients treated this ritual with so much respect. Because they knew that when you touched the navel, you weren't just touching the body. You were touching the origin. In just a moment, I'll reveal the 3 exact ingredients that seal this point and set you free. But first, drop a comment here. Have you ever felt an emotional pain that didn't feel like it was yours? That's not coincidence. That's a calling. And if you're feeling that calling now, hit subscribe, because you're standing in the exact moment to interrupt a cycle of pain that may have been running for over 100 years. A woman wakes up every day with a heavy sense of failure in her chest. She tries to build a business, tries to study, tries to reinvent herself, but something always pulls her back. She doesn't know it yet, but she's living out the same financial collapse her mother lived through and her grandmother before her. 3 generations of scarcity, and now she feels this pattern as if it's destiny. A man successful on the outside ends yet another relationship without explanation. He loves, but he can't stay. When things get too close, he feels panic. But that panic wasn't born with him. It was inherited from the abandonment his father suffered at age 7, left in an orphanage, never understanding why. These stories are real. Maybe not with the same names, but with the same patterns, because there are wounds that disguise themselves as personality. The person says, "That's just who I am." But the truth is, they were trained by the pain of those who came before. Have you ever wondered why you keep repeating cycles you swore you'd never repeat? Why you love too much the ones who don't love you back? Why you spend money when you're drowning in guilt? Why you feel like you're carrying a weight no one else can see? These are the signs of invisible chains. And the harder you fight them without knowing where they come from, the tighter they pull. Now, hear this with your heart. What you don't heal, you carry. And what you don't transform, you pass on. So many of us are the result of the silence of previous generations. Silence in the face of violence. Silence in the face of abuse. Silence in the face of loss. But right now, in this very moment, you have a choice. To be the echo of that silence, or to be the voice that breaks the cycle. And where does that transformation begin? At the center, at the navel, at the origin. Remember the woman who was terrified of succeeding? She did the ritual. For 7 nights, she applied the ingredients with awareness. At first, she cried without knowing why. Later, she began to dream of her grandmother. And on the last night, she woke up with a lightness she hadn't felt since she was a child. Today, she runs her own business, but more importantly, she lives in peace. If any of these stories reminded you of your own life, hit subscribe now. Because here, every video is another step toward freeing you from something that was never yours to carry. And remember this. In the next part, you'll understand why your body holds memories like a sacred temple, and how a simple ritual can rewrite your story without you ever saying a word. Imagine your body as a silent sanctuary, each organ a room, each energy point a doorway, and in the center of that temple, there's a portal, a subtle yet powerful circle, your navel. And here's the unsettling part. That portal never fully closed. Since the day you were born, it's remained open, sensitive, receptive, not just to physical touch, but to invisible frequencies, memories, emotions, codes of pain. Tibetan monks knew this. They believed that when pain is ignored by one generation, it enters the body of the next. And if it isn't faced, it keeps moving forward until someone finally sees it. That someone is you. You are either the final stop or another link in the chain. Now listen carefully. Long before the word epigenetics existed, those monks taught that the body stores stories. They didn't need lab tests. They only had to look into a child's eyes, see the weight on a young man's shoulders, or the broken dreams of an adult. They would say, when the navel pulses with pain, the soul is still trapped. And so they created a secret ritual. Few know it, even fewer practice it, because it's not just about the ingredients. It's about intention, about presence, about decision. Today, science explains with technical terms what ancient traditions once felt in the body. Recent studies show that trauma can alter genetic expression. But here's the fascinating part. Those changes can be reversed. You can reprogram your patterns. You can seal that portal and say, enough. This pain ends with me. And that's where preparation comes in. There's a formula, 3 ingredients, natural, ordinary. But when combined with intention and placed at the center of your body, they create a vibrational seal, a shield against pain that was never yours to carry. And before you dismiss this as too symbolic, answer me this. Have you ever felt relief from nothing more than a simple hug? Have you ever cried just by touching something that reminded you of someone you lost? Have you ever had chills just by walking into a room? The body understands symbols. It responds to gestures. It awakens through ritual, and this is the ritual that can shift your entire path. But pay attention. It's not just any day, not just any time, and it cannot be done carelessly. There's an exact moment, and it begins now. In the next part, I'll reveal the full ritual, the ingredients, the preparation, and the step-by-step to seal your center and free entire generations through you. Stay with me. The last step is secret, and it only works when done the right way. 3 elements, simple, natural, found in almost every home. But when used with intention, they become a key to break centuries of pain. You don't need to travel to a temple in India. You don't need some enlightened master. Everything you need is already in your body. And in these 3 ingredients, extra virgin olive oil, coarse sea salt, a bay leaf. Let's understand why each matters. Olive oil has been known since ancient times as a sacred anointing oil. In the East, it was used to bless the body before rites of passage. It represents protection. When applied to the navel, it forms an energetic film that blocks what doesn't belong to you. Coarse sea salt is the universal purifier. It absorbs, cleanses, and dissolves stagnant energy. Placed over the olive oil, it symbolizes pulling ancestral weight out of your center, drawing away what is ready to leave. And finally, the bay leaf, a leaf of victory. In ancient Rome, it crowned heroes and champions. In shamanic traditions, it's a symbol of connection with spiritual guides. In this ritual, it seals the work. It represents the final decision to break with the past and begin a new cycle. Now, here's the step-by-step. At night, preferably between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m., prepare a small, quiet space. Turn off the lights. Light a candle if you wish. Sit with your spine straight. Breathe deeply for 3 minutes. Close your eyes and bring to mind the pain that repeats most often in your life. See the faces of those involved. See the patterns that wound you. Don't run, just observe. Now, apply a small drop of olive oil directly to your navel. Spread it gently in clockwise circles. As you do this, repeat silently in your mind, I return what isn't mine. I release what holds me. I open the path for what's new. Then, with dry fingers, place a small pinch of coarse salt over the olive oil, forming a thin layer. Stay in silence for 1 minute. Feel. Your body will respond. It may come as heat, a chill, goosebumps. Let it come. Finally, place the bay leaf over your navel. It needs to stay there for at least 7 minutes. During that time, keep breathing. Visualize cords being cut. Visualize a field of light radiating from your center. After 7 minutes, remove everything carefully. dispose of the ingredients in the earth or somewhere far from your space. This is the beginning. This is your seal, your silent cry saying, "It ends with me." But hear me, this ritual only works with total presence. If you doubt it, nothing shifts. If you feel it, everything transforms. And if this stirred something inside you, drop a comment right now. I set myself free. That comment isn't just a phrase. It's an energetic contract with the new. And hit the notification bell because in the next video, I'm going to show you another little-known ritual used by monks to attract prosperity and open doors where everything once felt shut. When you apply this mixture to your navel, you're not just tending to your body. You're doing something no generation before you had the courage to do, consciously choosing to break the cycle. You may not realize it, but by saying yes to this ritual, you said no to centuries of repetition. You stopped the blind march of hidden pain. You were the light. You were the pause. You were the choice. And maybe, for the very first time in your bloodline, someone looked at that pain with compassion instead of fear. Someone said, "It ends with me." And from here forward, something new begins. Don't expect fireworks. The silence you feel right now, that strange peace, is the sound of your energy field reorganizing itself. It's the start of a new pattern, a pattern that says, I can prosper without guilt. I can love without repeating my parents' pain. I can build a future without carrying the weight of the past. Remember, what isn't healed gets inherited, but what is transformed multiplies. You've just planted a new inheritance, one your children and grandchildren may never fully understand, but they will feel it in lighter bodies, in more open hearts, in freer lives. And now, it's time to seal this transformation with one simple act. Write in the comments, "I choose freedom." That comment is your energetic signature. It's like sealing an envelope and handing it to the universe saying, "Here is my decision." And one more thing, share this video with someone in your family, because sometimes what one generation can't do alone, two can do together. You may be the link that brings healing to an entire family tree, and this is just the beginning. In the next video, I'll show you a ritual Buddhist monks use to attract prosperity with a gesture so simple it sounds unbelievable, yet it directly activates your field of worthiness. But here's the catch. It can only be done after sealing the navel. Do it out of order and the process weakens. And then the cycle repeats. So if you haven't done today's ritual yet, go back. Redo it with presence. And if you've already felt the calling, turn on the bell, because the next practice only works in the next 48 hours. After that, the energy field begins to reorganize, and the window of alignment closes. The journey has begun, and you are no longer alone.